Kansas City.
What's going on? Paul.
Got knocked out.
This is the most beautiful sight these eyes have ever seen.
We willed it into existence.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Chiefs. Hello and welcome back to the dumbest damn Chief show. Period. I'm Pat.
Spin Dip.
Jordo.
And I'm wearing a Rams hoodie.
And Redskins sweatpants.
I feel great about the Redskins sweatpants.
Am I allowed to say Redskins
That's
anymore?
Florida State Seminoles.
Oh, these are Seminoles, so you're just wrong.
Oh. It looks like...
Well, there's a lot of Native American imagery that's been used as mascots
One
here.
of my favorite one of my favorite songs, "Seminole Wind" by John Anderson.
That's a great song.
I don't know that song.
Yes, you do.
What?
Yes,
Yeah,
you
you
do.
do.
Yes, you do.
What about seminal fluid? Does that rank highly on your fluids?
Nope.
Okay, great.
Okay. Next.
And we're back. And we're back.
We got a lot to cover.
Super Bowl edition.
Apologies.
This is what we say. This is the rally cry. Super Bowl Chiefs. It's here.
The Chiefs have never been to a Super Bowl since 1970 until we started a podcast.
In 2018.
So
You guys are you're slamming. You're part of the dynasty now at this point. You're an integral piece.
you're welcome, Chiefs Kingdom, for keeping this shit going.
And we started this whole thing talking about Mahomes' greatness before he had only played at the very end of the 2017 season,
Yes.
right?
Greatest quarterback of all time. Greatest athlete of all time.
We're like, we're
Pat
going to
called him
shoot
the
our
greatest
shot.
ever after the pirouette play against Arizona Cardinals.
I mean, look,
season he started.
my entire life I've been jumping to conclusions, right? That's what I do. And for most of my life, I was wrong.
Until
But you eventually get good at shit if you do it long enough.
Right.
And you know what? I was right about Patrick fucking Lavon Mahomes II.
If I didn't know any better, I'd think that you wrote in the sports media world.
Well, War Paint Illustrated, let's not bring it up. That's more of a strike than it is a hit.
Was that Clay Windler? He's still
yep, C.E.
goofballing
Windler.
around on Twitter.
AKA, what's he called? Red
Red
Cinema.
Tribe Cinema.
All right, so I was actually toying around with, pretending like I had time the other day, of like making a video, doing reviews on all the Chiefs postseason hype videos. So I watched like 12. His was the best going into the last
Not
game.
today. The one today was dumb.
he has good content.
Was it bad?
He put a
Some of them
It was a
dorky
It
as
was
hell.
He put a Lord of the Rings kind of thing
He always
to
has
it,
some,
and I'm
weird
like,
stuff to it.
you're fucking dork.
Yeah.
Just give me some Doug rap music leading into some touchdowns, and that's,
Yeah, that's
all I
not
need.
his hype music. That's not what's going to happen there.
Okay.
Well, anyways, what were we talking about? The Chiefs. I know that
Jeez,
much.
Yeah.
man, a lot
And
happened.
Patrick fucking Mahomes and how good he is. I mean, it's outrageous. 5 years as a starter. All 5 times he's gone to the AFC Championship, hosted the AFC Championship, 3 Super Bowls.
Let's be honest, it probably would have happened the 6th year too had he started.
Yeah, it probably fucking would have.
Yeah.
And it would be 4 Super Bowls if D Ford wasn't a dumbass.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to record last week, but what was your guys' take on the whole lead up to Cincinnati? We got there, and I think
We couldn't run the ball.
from the first drive though of Cincinnati, our defensive line and push looked completely different. The entire year. That was noticeable, and it's not something every team you see on tape. And that's the first thing I noticed in that game. Like, oh boy, they're fired up.
My pregame defensive MVP was right on.
Yep.
Chris Jones.
Yep.
Fucking nailed it.
Well, he's been the defensive. Did they do the NFL awards
That's
yet?
tomorrow.
Is
It's
Mahomes-
tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
We've been waiting for the Chris Jones game in his era of Chiefs lore, and that was it.
Oh my!
I think
God.
that was it, right?
Finally,
was that it?
Well, that was his first postseason sack for those
Which
two.
is crazy.
It's
And then you
wild to
got
believe.
Frank Clark, who is almost rated at the top as a postseason player.
sacks.
Yeah.
And we've talked so much shit on him.
Yeah.
But look at what, like,
Well, look, let's
He'll
be
be
fair.
back. One-year deal.
What happened wasn't we didn't turn into the 40s, the 85 Bears. It's their offensive line turned into the 2020 Chiefs offensive line in the Buccaneers Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's
what happened.
exactly what we did to him.
And so Chris Jones ran over the fucking JV right tackle, and he did a damn fine job of it. And he's been the best defensive lineman all year, arguably the best defensive player in the league. And he fucking showed out in that game. And the best part was probably the tear coming down right before the game. Like,
You
God
knew-
damn.
They about to kill somebody.
But
Yeah.
even with their problems on the offensive line for Cincinnati with the guys they had out, they put so much bulletin board material out there for us that week that I don't know if the result would have been that much different had they had. Like, I just felt like they were bound and determined to make their presence known, the defensive line.
We needed every fucking play they
They're going to
made.
need it again in this game, but we finally got the Burrow, monkey off our back.
Yeah. Well, he's off, and he is out of the Super Bowl, and we're in.
Are we going to talk about any of this NFL is rigged crap?
So people were pretty upset after that game, huh?
Yeah.
What was the prevailing, give me the Cliff Notes version of what was their theory as to why the NFL was
It
rigged?
was multiple.
It all started with
things.
Arian Foster coming out on a podcast and essentially
Okay, well,
saying
that
he
concussed motherfucker is an idiot.
But, this is how stupid people are. He was being sarcastic throughout the whole thing.
Oh, he was.
And, downplaying it as, just trying to make a joke.
Can we talk about the memes that came out of that, though, when somebody was like, can you imagine DeMar Hamlin when he got his script?
Oh, my God.
Like, people...
supposed to do what?
Like, the internet is...
And this is how we get home field advantage?
wild. The internet is wild.
All right.
place.
What was wilder about that is they didn't think that he was really at the game. I think we talked about this a
Yeah.
little bit with the Cincinnati game. when
But
we
I
played
saw
it there.
that shit
I'm
where
like,
people were
yeah,
saying
he's got a
stun
he's got a
bubble.
mask on because he's wearing oxygen.
So it started with that interview with him, but then I'm talking about specifically in the game, things that happened where they said basically it's rigged. Like when at the very end, when
There was the
they
play
got the
that-
roughing the passer because they hit Mahomes when he was 3 feet out of bounds.
It was
Holmes
clear.
is out of bounds. It doesn't matter that the Bengals' 1 foot was in bounds. He's not a college football receiver. He's a defensive player tackling Mahomes out of bounds.
Clearly,
I understand
Clearly
that.
a flag. I
Right.
don't know how you can't analyze that video in any way to make it look like it wasn't.
Also, let's be real. We've seen Mahomes not get the right side of this unnecessary roughness.
for
roughing the
sure.
quarterback
Right.
bullshit. Chris Jones intercepted a ball straight out of a quarterback's hands earlier this season and then fell on top of him and got a roughing the quarterback. So, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right?
Are there
Wrong.
bad calls? 100%.
Now, this guy
Cincinnati-
was saying 3 weeks ago that Carl Cheffers was
We'll get into that. But Cincinnati, I don't feel bad for you considering we go to your stadium every year and you can chuck the ball 40 yards down fucking field and hope for a flag and get it 90% of the time
Yes,
to move the ball.
true.
So I don't want to hear it bullshit about how you don't get any calls. You were in our house, you talked all the shit, and we came in there and we completely just murdered you up and down the field, and you're sitting at home and you get to watch us play this week. Shut the fuck up.
You better take his temperature. He is heated.
And I hate but it was
You guys
bullshit.
watching The Last of Us, if you take that little meter, it's going to read red and they're going to shoot you and not green.
That is a good show.
It's a great show, huh?
It makes you, the first episode was a tearjerker.
Yeah.
Is it true that the latest one it was filmed in Kansas City?
Well,
I
that was
saw
the
that.
backdrop.
Yeah.
Well, that was the setting was Kansas City, so it looked like it was filmed here. Anyways, back on track. We beat the Bengals, so we can calm down. It's okay. We beat them. They're off our back, and it was an amazing win considering that we were down to fucking nothing doing it.
Were
Yeah.
you clenching your butt cheeks when Butker was kicking that field goal at the end?
Yeah, I thought yes.
No.
I didn't want to watch it, and then I watched it.
Same. I can't not watch it.
I think he's healthy. I mean, I think there's a lot of truth to the fact that he just wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
And it had a lot to do with he was Trent made a good point. He was overcompensating because he kicks so hard.
Yeah.
And the plant foot wasn't right. And now it is. And I don't think
He's
about
done
it
that a
anymore.
bunch. That
yeah.
wasn't it was
Got a big
50-50.
leg,
Is he
man.
gonna make it? Is he not gonna make it?
He
And he's
nailed
fucking
it,
made
though.
Yeah, nailed it.
In 10-degree weather, too.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy.
So how many of these injuries are not coming back? So McCole played one play, got us his first down.
IR.
Great
IR.
season.
What's going on with Juju?
Juju and Tony have both been practicing, and they're going to go.
Is
So-
Juju, was he a head?
Knee.
And Tony was ankle.
Yeah. But they're both practicing.
Snead was in concussion protocol.
Cleared.
Okay.
So we'll have everybody. I mean, we'll have everybody to the point where we were without Hardman. And
Damn,
I'm
Andrew Wiley's still playing. I was hoping he'd trip over something somewhere. And
Snead is in, and I think Snead is. I'm believing more and more that he's a critical piece to our defense.
well, we lost him early, and it didn't
Yeah.
help. Definitely didn't help. We did not run the ball in that game, and we could not run the ball. We tried too early on, and it was difficult. And
Andy gave up on it.
Hurt some shit, and Pat lost a lot of fucking targets, but still like an unbelievable comeback and win in that game.
Yeah, I mean,
where does it rank in your all-time pantheon of Chiefs playoff wins?
It's up there, but it's not like the Tennessee, or not the Titans, the
Texans
game.
24.
Yeah, that was just bizarre.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's up there from the standpoint of we corrected our wrong. We did everything we needed to do to win. And had Mahomes not fumbled that goofy quick pass,
I shit myself. Like, what the hell was that?
We probably would have beat them by 10 or more than that. I mean, we were driving.
We had the game.
Yeah.
If we drive and score, we had the game. And then he just is like, okay, here's another shot. Fuck it.
Right. That was just a weird sequence. But they gave the ball up, 3 times?
Yeah, he threw
Cincinnati
a couple
did.
picks.
He did not look great.
Our defensive backfield, Steve Spagnuolo, they got to stand up. And Brett Veach, what a fucking game for Brett Veach. I mean, what a season for Brett.
Oh,
Veach.
yeah.
It's that's one of the most remarkable things. I was looking through all the conference championship games data, like who's gone and played more consecutive games, and like the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 70s, they played 4 in a row, which is pretty astonishing. And they ended up they got to be the second greatest dynasty of all time because they won 4 championships in the 70s, and they're they're the next best team to the Chiefs, but they could never win more than 4 in a row.
Yeah.
And then the Cowboys only ever won 2 in a row in the 90s, even though they won 3 fucking Super Bowls in 4 years. So the fact that you could win 5 conference championships in a row, or playing for 5 conference championships in a row, second ever, is astonishing, especially considering that this year was supposed to be the down year. The down year.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of rookies that had to not just be starters, but fucking make plays
step up.
in the playoffs week after week, and then did.
And how many weeks in a row did Chiefs fans have to choke on whoever the announcer was? Tony Romo, Sunday Night Football, Chris Collinsworth. They don't have Tyreek Hill anymore. It's like, okay, how many? Do you think we'll hear it? Is that a prop bet Sunday? Do you think
How many Tyreek Hill gotta be? Yeah.
Every week a mention of him.
That'll definitely be a prop bet at our Super Bowl party.
So Nick Wright interviewed Mahomes Monday, and he had a really good question. He just flat out asked him, did losing Tyreek make you a better quarterback? And he kind of hemmed and hawed and was like, yeah, I think there's some truth to that.
Yeah.
Just had forced him to play differently. And, I mean, is he better? Honest question, do you think Mahomes is better now without him this year than he was with him?
Yeah, I do. I think that he has been forced to use more different muscles and play and win games in different ways than he used to be able to, and that has made him more of a Swiss Army knife of a fucking human.
Let's be honest, though, our receiver depth, it's a lot better than it was with him on the roster, though.
Juju,
MVS, Tony.
Yeah.
Justin Watson has been, I think, given a lot more than we thought.
To take a step back real quick, to talk about the receivers and some of the fucking jobs that they've done. Like, Kadarius Toney was thrown away, came here and did something.
Yeah.
MVS, or like Sky Moore, started the season dog shit. People wanted to cut him, and then had to catch a big old booming kick and then make a play on it.
Yep.
So people had to do shit that they weren't very good at the beginning of the year and get good at it, and then they did. All that had to happen. That's how remarkable it is that we did it. It's crazy. But yes, that receiving core, I think, is better. That's what we talked about from day one, is they're going to be able to spread it out amongst more players.
So I would like to, if we had to poll Chiefs fans today and say, okay, you know where we're at right now, would you have taken Tyreek with all the same receivers we had last year in this game, or would you lose him and take this receiving core?
I would lose him.
What percentage of Chiefs fans would have, I bet it'd be 80-20, we would have made the deal and done what we did.
Well, if you're giving me a healthy Tyreek based on this bag of dice we're throwing out now, knowing that Hardman's out, I probably would jump in with Tyreek Hill.
Really?
Yeah,
I would say the latter. I just feel like I feel like they have more that he can utilize now. I don't know what, like, and it's true.
But part of that deal is who else was with him? It was Demarcus Robinson. Who else? That's part of
Name another, like,
know,
who's the other one?
I would take
I can't even fucking remember anymore.
these guys.
Byron
over-
Pringle.
Yeah, Byron Pringle was actually not bad.
Yeah.
But I still feel like we are leaps and bounds better as a core.
Yeah, I agree with that entirely. But they've also gotten more opportunity because Tyreek's not here.
But they use the tight ends a ton. Like, they're throwing to Noah Gray, and every time Noah Gray catches a pass, he doesn't have anybody by him
Speaking
for
of Noah
15
Gray.
yards.
Almost scored a touchdown. If Travis Kelce would have let that lateral go,
Oh, yeah.
Noah Gray might have snuck
Talked
in.
about that on the podcast.
So they were talking about that on the podcast, and Jason Kelce
It
was
wasn't
like,
designed.
bullshit. Bullshit. 100% it was designed and talked about, and they'll be used again in the Super Bowl. 100%.
That he was going to pitch it to him?
Yes.
Yeah.
They did it on fucking almost back-to-back
The
plays.
Jimmy Montiel special.
Travis Kelce isn't out there just being like, I guess I'll do whatever the fuck I want. Andy Reid runs a tight goddamn ship.
Both of them
He's
were.
not going to let him
He did
just
that.
throw a couple laterals.
He did it to LaShawn McCoy or whenever that was.
That was ad-libbed.
That
may have been ad-libbed. These two were not. These
Okay.
were fucking hook and ladders. These were
Okay.
second level plays. And this is the next evolution. Now, I'm a rugby guy, and this excites me because this is shit we do in rugby. But this is the next fucking evolution of football. And if you look back, all this shit that Andy Reid's doing is digging up shit from the 30s and 20s and 40s. That shit used to exist and be in design plays. Where you would have laterals downfield.
And I'm just thinking
coming.
about this now. Kelsey gets so much attention where they want to tackle it because he's so deadly with
Right.
the ball after the
Well,
catch.
yards after the catch.
That nobody's looking at anybody around him.
Well, no one is at
And
anybody because no one intentionally pitches.
Now, Travis, we need you to pitch it correctly and actually get it to the guy because he'll probably
Yeah.
score.
He wasn't a fucking quarterback. Obviously not an
Yeah.
option quarterback.
Right.
The
The
one
one to-
Smith would have put that right in the mix.
The one to McKinnon, was bad because he was open too. I mean, he just
it was just a woeful
threw it at
pass.
his feet.
I think that it was designed, and I think that there was a little bit of gamesmanship on the podcast of Travis. Like,
They're downplaying it.
yeah,
Well, they're also saying that Mahomes has been putting this behind the back pass. Like, at some point, it's going to come out.
Like, he's gonna use
They
it.
got one on the multiple sets where he can do it, and he just doesn't do it yet.
Okay.
So is this it? I mean, if any game, it's going to be like this is the game, right?
dude,
Where
if
you
that
do
boy
something-
can run this Sunday,
Oh my God.
if he can fucking
Right?
open it up and let her go,
Game on!
Well, let's talk.
Party on, win!
Let's talk about
the Eagles.
We gotta
the
break it
Eagles.
down.
Yeah.
Their offensive line, allegedly, this is the narrative that I don't know because I don't fucking watch them, that I am choosing to believe is being overhyped and is actually not faced a defense that is as good as ours.
That's what I was going to talk about because let's start with strength of schedule. So this is right. The Chiefs had like the fourth most difficult schedule. The Eagles had like the 28th
Yeah.
most difficult schedule. If you go look at their opponents, the only two quarterbacks they faced that could even be in the same
30s.
universe as Mahomes, is Dak Prescott and Aaron Rodgers.
For a half.
And Dak
For-
Prescott ain't in the same
for a
universe.
half.
But you know what I'm saying. Like,
Rodgers was for a half, too. Jordan Love finished that game.
Oh, did he?
got hurt.
took shrooms
But
at
they-
halftime? Or?
No,
But
he got hurt.
they still beat the Eagles,
yeah.
right? And so did Dak, right? Those
I-
are the two quarterbacks they face of any sort of
He lost to
caliber.
Washington, I believe. Let's look. You guys keep talking. Let me look.
That's not a good sign.
Right.
So they didn't have to play the loaded AFC with a whole bunch of really good quarterbacks. Yeah. Also, so one of their tackles is a guy named Jordan Mailata. So he's a Tongan Australian who played rugby league, which is a different version of rugby than what I am in.
Okay.
But 6'8", just storming around, running with the ball. Terrifying highlights. But he got brought over into this special program where they're trying to convert crossover athletes, and he was like the only one to stick. And he's a fucking starting left tackle in the NFL now. He is a massive freak. He's the one that did the Christmas show with Jason Kelce.
If I was on the opposite side of a 6'8" person, who's he going against?
well, Chris motherfucker Jones.
We're going to be moving guys around. Okay,
we'll be
so
moving dudes around.
they lost to the... I was right. They lost
Done
to the
last
Commanders.
Okay.
Then they lost to Dallas. Then they
It's
lost
still
to
a football
They
team.
lost to New Orleans. So I don't know. Like, the narrative this week in the media is that they're so far superior to us in every level of their team outside of quarterback. But man, like, the AFC is battle tested. Like the teams the Chiefs has to go through, even that Jacksonville team that we played in the playoffs, like would have given them a game.
Right.
And I don't think that's
The AFC has been the stronger conference all year. No one's been no one's been talking about any
Right.
NFC quarterback as the next up and comer, right? Has he even had that great of a year statistically?
Jalen Hurts?
I know
was
he's running the
hurt.
ball well.
He was hurt too.
Yeah. So the first 8 weeks, he was MVP talk.
Yes.
Okay.
Then he got the shoulder injury, and they really rely on the zone read run game.
Okay.
Zone read, and then the RPO stuff. Last week, and then the game before that he came back from the injury, he's like pedestrian throwing the ball. So
Which didn't he get cut from Oklahoma?
no,
He got cut from Alabama?
No,
He went to two different
Alabama was going to start Tua or Mac, one of the two. I can't remember who it was. So he transferred to OU and then finished off. And then it was, when he got drafted there, he wasn't drafted to start. He was drafted because they didn't trust Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, we kind of got something here. We'll have to change up the offense a little bit. Because you guys remember when we went up there and played them the COVID year and they gave us a game? Like he was really. Our defense was horrible, but he actually played really good.
2020.
Yeah. He put like 5 touchdowns on us.
Okay.
But what I was going to say is the last 2 games he's had to throw, it ain't good. I mean, there's
Is he
clearly
throwing a lot of
something wrong
picks?
with the shoulder.
Oh, okay.
It's not.
Is he throwing a lot of picks or what's the deal?
It just completion percentage is horrible.
Okay.
He did throw a pick 2 weeks ago. For them to win this game, they have to do the grind it out, run the ball, which I think they're capable of doing, though.
What are we? We're an underdog, right? Like
1.5 the last time I checked, but they have to muddy up the game. They got to play a game that.
So it's interesting. We're the slight underdog,
Again.
and probably the majority of we would think the national media is thinking the Eagles are more talented than us. But you
But
think,
I think
that
that-
they have a narrow path.
I think that's why the money is swinging that way because everybody sees the record.
Yeah.
But they don't really. They're not diving into the details of strength of
I think
schedule.
the ankle probably
his
still is a big
injury.
question mark.
Sure.
Because, I mean, if Mahomes is not able to run the ball, or if his leg becomes liability, even more of a problem, then that changes the whole fucking game.
Sure.
Because the only reason, I mean, like, if we can run the ball either with Mahomes or with Isaiah Pacheco, I think the Eagles are going to have a tough time winning. But if we can't run the ball, it makes it a lot easier to fucking beat us.
I've seen all sorts of predictions about how this game is going to go. I've
How's
seen
their
it's going
pass
to be
rush?
a track. It's good. Their pass rush is amazing. It's first to us. Hassan Reddick's a problem. That's going to be a problem with Andrew Wiley.
Oh,
But
hurts.
do you guys think it's like? I think the total the over's like 48.5 on points.
I thought it was 55.
Maybe it went up. Do you think it's going to be a grinded out game like Cincinnati, or are we talking 30s for it? We'll get into score
Well,
predictions.
the weather
but
looks nice, right?
It's going to be nice.
Yeah.
Arizona,
it
70
a dome?
degrees.
I thought that was a dome.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So it's going to be perfect.
Do you think it's in the 30s?
I don't know. I think I'm more inclined to think it goes that way. I actually think that the Chiefs have a decent chance of winning with a little bit of comfort.
Do you think? I've been thinking that as well.
It comes down to Mahomes' health and the way that they got his ankle. Because I was shitting my pants. I thought his ankle was good. He was literally hopping to hand the fucking ball
Yeah.
off, and then he played. 8 days later.
Is it fair to say if the Eagles win, the game is in the low 20s, but if the Chiefs win, it's going to be the Chiefs in the 30s and
I mean,
whatever the Eagles can put up?
Probably is that's a fair guess. But a billion different fucking things can happen in a football game. If our defense comes to play and any kind of running happens, we're going to beat the shit out of them. If Mahomes has to sit back there and just fucking pick apart a defense by himself, that's where we get into problems. Especially if he's this great Eagles pass rush does something.
Yeah, I mean, they're legit. It's legit. But, that game, what was it? The Jacksonville game in the second half when he was getting the ball out really quick, that might kind of be the boilerplate of what we're looking at.
And he's the best player in the history
Yeah,
of
he can
time.
do it.
So if you ever need a quarterback to do that, then do it. It just narrows your path
Yeah.
to success.
Right. I'm just like Super Bowl week is cool, and we're spoiled as Chiefs fans because we're doing this a lot now. But I'm just ready for the game now. Like all the hubbub, and I think it's awesome.
I was
and
consuming more hype
and-
last week than I am this week.
Same.
I'm consuming way less.
Yeah. Me
See,
too.
I'm coming back around now. Earlier in the week, I wasn't that way. Now I'm starting to get.
How do you feel about the
antsy.
Wednesday parade announcement?
Is that when it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Hump Day parade. They want to do it the Wednesday after the Super Bowl.
Oh,
Don't knock.
What?
We gotta. Don't
Yeah.
jinx it.
so I have to. Okay. Yeah. Don't jinx it.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right, do we have to do our official score predictions here? And
Yeah.
talk about the last one?
Yeah, we'll talk about the last one. Technically, Dan won, but we can't do that for our game's
Yeah, that
sake.
doesn't count.
So, Pat and I tied.
A tie.
Another tie.
Oh, my God.
So,
Does that mean Sarah's won?
yeah, you guys can't win now because
Fucking-
it's 7-5-5. So
Did we
you
ever
guys can't
decide
win.
what you win? Did we ever?
Did we make a bet?
You get a T-shirt from the shop.
Okay, great. That's easy to fulfill. We can do that.
I don't even work here or have ownership rights, and I just
Great
gave your
idea,
present
though.
away.
Great ideas are rewarded around here.
So, I mean, we can go back and look at our season predictions, revisit those that we made.
Did anybody?
Oh
predict the
yeah,
Eagles?
let's go back. Did we
It's
do
going
a
to be real quick. I mean,
totality record?
We're gonna
Yeah.
have this again next week because we have to do a post Super Bowl
Sure.
show.
Oh,
okay,
we're
do you
gonna
want to
win.
wait on that then?
Yeah, let's wait on that.
All right.
I think we're pretty good. Let's so you've already won the season in score predictions.
Yeah,
so this
sorry,
one's just
fellas.
for fun. Unless it's double jeopardy, can this be like final?
No.
Okay. No.
I like what we did last week, where score, offensive MVP, defensive MVP, and maybe somebody that you think is going to be significant and have a big impact, but you know, like a Sky Moore last
Okay.
week. So
No
Sarah,
one picked that shit.
No way, Sarah. You go.
Okay, so score prediction will be 37-24 Chiefs.
I like that one. That's a good. That's a good prediction. I'll do 33-26. Jeez.
Gosh, you guys are all. I'll do 34-20 Chiefs.
Just, I don't even know. We'll probably this is weird. It's going to be a three-way tie.
No, I
feel
think
it.
okay. I think we're all kind of. At least I'm not going to speak for you guys. We're all kind of on the same path in that. I think if the Chiefs get up early and we can stop them, it's going to like them playing comeback with his shoulder issue. If it's what everybody says it is, and they have to sling the ball around, is not good for them.
No, the fact that
So
he's
getting
got
up
a-
early
because-
is a huge thing for the Chiefs.
Not
I
with-
still don't think they take the ball if they get the coin flip, but you know, if we stop them first drive, and go down and score.
I need playoff Frank to
Yeah.
be playoff Frank. Okay.
So let's do that, Pat.
What?
Give me offensive MVP, defensive MVP, and then give me unsung hero.
Okay, my MVP is going to be. I feel so stupid, but it's going to be Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be the MVP of the game, so he'll be my offensive MVP as well. Defense, I'm going to go with Willie Gay. Wild card answer. He's going to make a turnover. He's going to do something crazy. He might decapitate Jalen Hurts. Something cool is going to happen from Willie Gay. He's my defensive MVP.
I'm willing this into existence. I'm sticking with Chris Jones.
Yep.
Unsung hero, Sneed.
Yep. Noah Gray's my unsung hero because this time he's going to catch the lateral from Travis Kelce and he's
score.
going to go in for the game-winning score. He'll be our Damian Williams of the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Okay. So AFC, offensive MVP, Pacheco. I think we get the running game going.
That would be pretty cool. if that's even in the realm of a possibility, we're blowing the doors off the Eagles.
Defensive. I'm going to go with Nick Bolton.
Okay.
I think I'll have a big play, fumble recovery, something significant.
All right. We both pick linebackers. I like that.
Unsung hero in this game, MVS again. I think something's going on there between him and Mahomes, and
All
he's
right.
going to have a big game. So, MVS.
He was definitely that last week.
Yeah.
So, all right. It's exciting stuff. What do you bring to the Super Bowl party? You guys have to bring anything or?
Tim's Pizza.
Yep. We're having Tim's Pizza.
God, I love that place. They
Yeah.
still have a salad bar.
That's great.
There's a special place in heaven for any restaurant that
That
still has a
still
salad bar.
has a
I didn't
salad
think
bar,
is it
yeah.
dine-in still? I didn't think they
You
had.
can dine in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I've dined in there post.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. That sounded good. So we're just gonna do the Tim's pizza and beer.
I like it.
Classic Super Bowl. What are you
Probably
doing?
gonna whip up some jalapeno poppers
Yeah,
and
that's
deviled
like-
eggs.
that's your-
One's my
yeah.
favorite thing to eat, and the other one costs like 10 cents to make, and everybody likes. So
Great.
that's what we're gonna do. All right,
Yeah.
fuck it. Super Bowl.
Chiefs.
Chiefs.